Hello, my name is Grin, and this is my beard. The crumb that I'm pulling out of my beard today is going to be about storytelling and why I don't watch Japanese TV. Now, if you're learning Japanese, then watching Japanese TV or something like that might be a good thing to do in order to improve your Japanese ability, obviously. However, Japanese TV doesn't seem very interesting. It seems to me, just to me. Maybe other people think it's really maybe other people think it's really interesting. I don't because it's very how do I say this? It seems very elementary humor and interests. Like there's a lot of food shows. It, anytime you watch Japanese TV, there's gonna be a channel that's got someone making some sort of food, somebody trying that food, and somebody going umai, umai, ooh, like that. It's unbelievable, and I'm sure some of that food is very tasty, but it's just too much. It's often too much to me, and I don't really like watching shows about food per se. I mean, I like enjoying food, but I don't like watching other people eat food. Isn't that like considered rude in many places? Eating in front of somebody who can't, enjoy what you're eating. Like if I was here with a friend and they were eating something in front of me, they wouldn't just keep eating. They would be like, "You want some?" But obviously, you can't do that on TV. However, it's perfectly okay to just watch someone chowing down on some umai food. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Other TV shows like variety shows is most of that is just they're watching something or seeing somebody do something and then responding to it. And a lot of those responses are just, I don't want to say idiotic, but not not it's all theater. They're just saying things to be funny on purpose or whatnot. They're most of those people are personalities or talento that are trying to make it seem more interesting than it is. Obviously, you want it to seem interesting, but uh, the other kind of TV shows where you've got people doing funny things and trying to get people to laugh or in some way comedy type of things. But most of the Japanese comedy is very it's very physical comedy. They're it's back in the Laurel and Hardy days, Three Stooges type of stuff. And it's like we did that. The English TV shows and whatnot did that long time ago and kind of perfected it, and then went away and went beyond that. Now the comedy stuff that you see nowadays is stand-up comedy. That's the most popular kind of comedy, where you're in front of an audience and you're talking about some story or something like that. You're telling a story, but it's ironic or it's subvertive. It uh, transcends your expectations in some way, which makes it funny. Usually, how I used to think of how funny a joke is how far away the end result is from what you were expecting, and the further it is, the more fun it is. And sometimes it can be really close. It can be the exact thing that you were thinking. And the fact that you were expecting that what you're thinking isn't the answer and it turns out to be the answer is what makes it funny. That's where things like why did the chicken cross the road comes from. You're thinking, oh, this is a joke, so you're going to say something that isn't obvious, but the obvious answer is the answer to get to the other side. Haha, that's very funny. So the way English speakers do comedy is just like, how far away can I take your expectations from the reality of what I'm going to say? Or how far can I bend your reality so that what I say is funny? That's American humor, not even American humor, it's English humor, right? Anyone who speaks English can get that kind of stuff. Although I think Americans are the ones that enjoy it the most. However, there's some great English, British comedians who do, the dry humor type of stuff. That stuff is really good too, because again, it's subverting your expectations. Their answers and their punchlines are so different from what you were expecting. So storytelling it's an art. It really is, and I'm not sure whether or not Japan has this art. Uh, this they don't do this storytelling art the same way as English speakers do. It's very interesting. I mean, if you watch any Japanese shows, TV shows or whatnot, you might be surprised that a lot of them, the ending isn't really even an ending. It is an ending, but it's not. There's no resolution. Sometimes, a lot of times, a lot of the Japanese shows, TV shows, anime, movies, the ending is just it's just okay. Now the movie's over, and you're like, well, where's the punchline? I mean, I don't know. Where did it go? It's not like the Sixth Sense where the ending is just like, oh my, oh damn, did you, holy, boy, my mind is blown, type of thing. They don't really have that so much in Japanese storytelling. I mean, what is here's a story for you. I can't remember the name of the story, but it's this old man is fishing and gets it's a old Japanese story, I guess, but it's told many many times. This old man is fishing and he saves a turtle or something like that, and the turtle says, "Hey, jump on my back and I'll take you to the um, the princess home or the this castle or land under the sea." So the old man does, and he goes to this castle and he meets the queen, and they feed him all kinds of great food, and he's having a great time. But eventually, he gets to the point where he's just like, I really need to go home. I want to go home. And so the queen or princess of the this uh, kingdom gives him a box and says, if you're gonna go home, take this with you. But whatever you do, do not open the box. Never open the box. Just keep it with you and don't open the box. And so he's like, okay. And he goes back home, and everything that he knew is gone. His town is gone. All the people that he knew are gone. There's new people and a new town and everything. He's like, what the heck's going on? And then he's sad, so he's just like, what the heck? I don't know what to do. He opens the box, and all of the time that he spent under the ocean gets released, and he becomes an old man. And that's the end of the story. It's like, oh, well, that's not good. That's not good at all. But yeah, I mean, it does have some morals. If somebody tells you don't look in the box, maybe you shouldn't look in the box. It's the kind of um the curiosity killed the cat type of story, but it goes the long way to tell you the story. I don't know. It's is that's not a funny story though. It's not. It's just storytelling in Japanese or Japanese kinds of storytelling. I mean, what's probably the most popular uh, Japanese story, if you go through pop culture, is probably something like Akira, where at the end of Akira, there's an ending, but there's no like resolution. Like it's like you're thinking, what the hell just happened? How does this end it? Who is Akira? Where did what happens to Kaneda? What about you don't know. It's kind of up in the air type of thing, and so Japan and or things that are Japan culture related versus things that are English or English culture related, meaning British English, American English, New Zealand English, Australian English, whatever, English related cultural ideas versus Japanese related cultural ideas are kind of opposite. They're really, it is completely like black and white. Now, it doesn't mean that either black is good or black or white is good. It doesn't matter. Neither one is bad and neither one is good, except if you feel like it is. So people in Japan act differently, they think differently, almost opposite compared to people in America. I'm American, so I can really say it about American people. When you come to Japan, things are just going to be backwards to you. It's just going to seem, why is it this way? This doesn't make it. This is backwards, and it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's just different. It's just different in a good way. Both can be right, even though they're exact opposite answers. They're both right. What color is this? It's white. What color is this? It's black. Both answers can be correct, and still, that's the way it is. Both answers can be correct, I guess. So it's like you've got it's like Japan culture and American culture. I speak a lot on American culture because I'm from America. Just keep that in mind. I don't know, but I've never been in Britain or England or New Zealand or Australia, so I can't say about them. But uh, in English, in American culture versus Japanese culture, if you are an American and you come to Japan, you're just gonna see everything is backwards. I mean, they drive here in Japan. We drive on the opposite side of the road, right? Yeah, right, right. Well, where I'm from is even more backwards in Arizona, because in Arizona it's the land of the setting sun, and on our flag we've got a picture of the sun setting over the horizon, and then you've got the sunset night or sunset scape, whatever you want to call it, and like rays of light coming out of the sun, and it makes a beautiful image. And then Japan is the land of the rising sun, where the sun comes up, and the flag is the sun coming up. Well, already up, I guess. But yeah, that's completely opposite, right? Land of the I'm from the land of the setting sun, and I now live in the land of the rising sun. Pretty wild to me. I feel like it's pretty wild. If you okay, so also speaking in English versus speaking in Japanese can be completely opposite as well. It's fun. It's fun. And a lot of my students don't really get that, and they try to think in Japanese and translate to English, but then it comes out backwards. That's why a lot of Japanese people sound like Yoda or something like that. They'll be like, "The store to I go," instead of "I go to the store." And that's how you would say it in Japanese. Omise ni iku. So to the store to go. There you go. It's backwards. It's all backwards. And it's not wrong. It's just different. I like that. That's pretty cool. So storytelling is like that. You don't really have to have a one way or another to do it. And here's my example of that. Uh, one of one of the guys that what's his name? Mister what? I gotta find you. I gotta find you because I keep forgetting names. I'm really bad with names, by the way. Anytime somebody tells me a name, I'll forget it like 5 minutes later. It's just the way I am. Oh, okay, Mr. Leoniasti, Mr. Leoniasti. Hello. He has he's been making a few comments, but he's also got his own channel where he does VFX and 3D video and stuff like that. And he has a really cool video on there about the back rooms. It's the latest video that he has on there since I'm making this video. And so he says that he likes my storytelling, and I use words. I don't use any imagery, anything like that. And he's like, "Oh, I really like your storytelling." And I'm like, he did an entire video about the back rooms where there was like less than 30 words of dialogue, but it spoke volumes of information and feelings and emotions. It's really awesome that you can tell such a huge story, this expansive story, without ever really saying anything. And I think I wish I could do that. I mean, just to be able to tell an entire story without saying anything would be really cool. So it's the opposite, right? His video and my videos are opposite. He tells stories without having to say anything, and you get it. You just feel it. It's like It's really good. You should go check out his channel. Mr. Leo Nasty is his name, and I think that's his channel too, Mr. Leo Nasty. And he's got a video about the back rooms. I don't know if you know what the back rooms are, but it's like a, I don't know, a creepy pasta about this kind of empty business like building rooms that you they go on forever, and it's always different, but it's very much the same kind of idea. Like the walls are all the same, but the way it's all configured is always different type of thing. It's really interesting creepypasta type of storytelling, and he did a really great video with that. So good job, dude. I really enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, this is really what I want to tell you about storytelling. Why I don't watch Japanese TV. Japanese TV isn't very interesting to me. Usually, not always. Sometimes there's a good one, but usually it's very obvious what's going on, and it's just like it doesn't meh. It's not interesting to me. But if you're learning Japanese, I guess if you can find some interest in it, watch it because that's a good way to learn it. I don't suggest watching anime to learn Japanese. It might help a little bit, but a lot of times those Japanese anime will use really weird words or words that just aren't, common in actual Japanese usage. And they do it for, comedic effect or something like that, or just for period effect. Like if they're doing a samurai movie, they're going to, or samurai anime, they're going to use words that you might have used back in those days. Excuse me, I'm having some problems here. So you and those words aren't going to be words that people use all the time here in Japan, so it might not be the best way. And then other times it's going to be they're going to use words that are just for comedic effect. And it might be a good idea to learn those words, but using them probably it'll get you a laugh, and people will laugh at you. um, I think maybe some like life slice of life anime might be okay, but still, you're gonna get some weird stuff in there as well. It's okay to learn the weird stuff. Just try to understand that people don't use that kind of speech all the time. People rarely do, probably. I can't give you any examples right now. I can't think of any examples. If I come up with some examples later, I'll tell you. But yeah, also Japanese drama, not so much either. I can't really think of any good Japanese stories that you should watch that give you a good idea of how to use Japanese. If you can read Japanese, it would be better that way because then you can like read short novels or elementary school novels or even kids books, and a lot of those will give you specific Japanese terms that are used today. That's the whole point there for learning. That would be the best way to do it. Or go to Kumon. Then they'll teach you stories like the old man and the undersea princess in the box that you shouldn't open. Stuff like that. All right, well, that's kind of what was in my beard. Japan and America are opposites and both are okay. Bye now.